Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team HAAM channel. I'm here with Mr. Ronald, who made top 8 at Clash of Nations this past weekend. How are you doing today, Ronald?
Doing great.
You doing right?
Yep.
All right, awesome. And you're here to present your deck that you made top 8 with?
Yes.
It was Nirvana, right?
Yes, I played Dragon Empire Nirvana.
All right. And just a quick announcement to everybody. Ronald's actually our newest member on Team HAAM as well. He's the 13th member, so it makes this organization 13. How does that feel, Ronald?
Feels amazing.
All right, bet.
Maybe we'll get a new hoodie.
Well, without further ado, guys, it's all up to you, Ronald.
Alrighty, so to start off, of course, you gotta have the key piece.
Right.
I actually only run 3 Trick Stars.
Ooh.
Only 3. Main reason is I don't like it as the Forerunner because I do value the extra draw from the Sunrise Egg. Or you could run the Conroe if you wanted to. Also because 4 in main deck, too clunky. You're guaranteed 2 essentially from your ride line alone just by drawing into one of these. So it worked out perfectly for me. I always saw the Trick Star and he's always there for me.
Especially with that bling?
Yes,
Good thing.
yes. My wallet hates me for it. Alrighty, and then of course I actually run the Dragon Empire over trigger. Main reason I choose this one over like the generic 2 million to each rear guard or so is restanding with grade 4 triple drive 6 cards to hand. Love it. I can't just not do it, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, how often do you hit these? Not often, but seeing this one every once in a while with that plus really generates good enough support.
All right.
And then of course I run the 4 going to soul crit just because of the grade 4 interaction with it with the Experidia. Want to be able to soul blast out as much, so for the restands, of course. Still needing 2 more SPs.
We're working on it.
Yes, we are working on it. There's a lot of people tend to run the fronts. I actually commit to the 8 crit. Reason I go for the 8 crit is I feel it applies more pressure because my rear guard units are already swinging high enough to where just powering them up doesn't do enough output against my opponents, whereas if I give them that extra damage with a crit, have them at 4 damage by grade 3 on the next one that they don't heal down, they're staring down 5 damage because of the damage burn from Mahar, and they're facing that down with Experidia and Expecta and the grade 4 with triple drive, so more likely than not they're dead by that turn.
Okay.
Then I run the 3 new draws that become 10k shields when on grade 3. Main reason is very simple. I run the 3 draws because I want to see my pieces as much as possible. These get me into those, and they're pretty good 10k shields. Since I'm not running the fronts, they make up for it.
Okay.
And then the most beautiful heal of them all, excluding the cater one, because I know you love that one, James.
There you go. I'm glad you fixed that statement.
Yeah, there you go. But yes, I run this one because you need the heals, of course. I don't want to die too quickly.
Gosh, they are beautiful, though.
Yes. I'm sad to take them out when the new ones come out.
If you do.
I probably will. And then, starting off with grade 1s, I run 4 PGs.
Okay.
Necessary. You gotta be able to guard.
Yeah.
And of course, these have that built-in skill that once you're at 2 or less, you no longer have to discard, just protect. And that can come in handy against like the Flagberg matchup when I'm only allowed to drop 3. No guard text.
Which did come up in a few games.
Yep. Then I run 2 Jimenez. Main reason for this is it did come up a couple times in Clash where I didn't see my overdress units, and I love being able to just expend the 1 counterblast to check top 7 and grab one out. Whether I get the draw from the arcs or not, if I find the arcs, or if I go into the Virina or the Urger, or even my Expectas, comes in clutch. Just having that little extra search for an overdress unit, especially because when you're on Mahar, at that point you just want to overdress for the 10k bonus. Doesn't matter if you get any skills off, but as long as you get that 10k to the front row for free, works out in the end. Then, of course, I run the Blaze Pole Monk. These are important just because they recur all of my overdress units once they're in the drop, and the fact that once I'm on the grade 4, it counter charges for me, which is something this deck really needs, and this is one of the only few options we have aside from the Gojo that came out with the Overlord. This was our next best thing.
And only 3? Why is that? Why not 4?
I actually only run the 3 because it's the perfect ratio for me. 4, I feel is too clunky, and because I run a spicy 1-of in my deck that will also come into play right now.
All right.
And that spicy 1-of is actually the Stuffed Dragon.
I did see you running that.
It's my spicy 1-of only because if I open up with this, I immediately discard it from my ride line, or even on my grade 3 turns, I've actually run into it where I will discard to recur the Trick Star, tucks it into Soul. It's more Soul for me to be able to do my Experidia, and just a spicy 1-of worked enough for me because it's just that 1 extra card in Soul, just in case I need a guard with my crits.
All right.
And then moving on to grade 2s, just like Cater has Alden Insurance, I have my Arcs. They are always there for me to take care of me and fill up my hand, and there are times where the way I play this deck, honestly, is I don't care if I have the Counterblast or not. I will call these as vanillas just to swing with them, but more likely if not, if you give me the 2 Counterblasts, I'm drawing 4 off of it. And that's the way I run these overdress units, because getting the skills is just a bonus, whereas the most important part is being able to do the overdress itself. Alrighty, next up is the original Virina. The main reason for this one is your ride line searches it out for you. Running it at 2 for me is standard, so that you can most likely draw 1 off early, or if you do get to add it on the grade 3 play, it's just an aggression unit. Simple as that. I did pop off sometimes because I do have it built in where I can have a good amount of soul every once in a while, where I would retire key units on certain decks for certain matchups, but most of the time I'm just using it as an aggressor. Whether I overdress it on top of a Trickstar or not, it's just there to do his job and just put my opponent up to 4 damage as fast as possible so I can ping him for the 5th damage and go in for the kill.
Okay.
The last 2 grade 2s are actually Urgers.
Oh, 2 Urgers, okay.
Only 2. It's for the same reason as the Virina. If I manage to draw into it when I get that extra Trickstar on a majority of my games, that actually happens, I will call in Arcs and then an Urger or a regular Virina, and now I have a 20k poker.
Oh, okay.
And the other beautiful part about the Urger in itself is on decks that don't do a lot of retiring or field presence, which happens most of the time, but it also depends on whether if you're going first or second, he is an additional 15k intercept. So he also provides a good amount of defense. When you get it off, you get it off. If you don't, you don't. But other than that, he's just there to deal damage as well. And then moving on to the grade 4, or the grade 3s actually, I ran only 2 Expecta. This was the other reason why I had 3 of the Blaze Pull Monk, and it was because I originally had Expecta at 3, but I experienced it where it was clogging it too much in my hand, whereas the Blaze Pull also, another good thing about it is it essentially is an overdress body, because it does pull any overdress unit from the drop. So this is essentially having 3 of this, 3 Virina, 3 Urger, or even 5 Arcs.
All right.
And of course, he's in here just for the application of if you manage to pull him off with an Experidia and a Mahar, they're either taking 1 damage or 2 damage to the face, and your opponent essentially gets told, pick your poison.
Fair enough.
And in cases of the matchup against like Prison, pop off his skill early, whether it gets blocked or not, drops all of his soul, and now your Prison opponent can't take away everything from underneath along with it.
Okay. So you pretty much overdressed that over the Experidia.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool.
And then next up are the grade 4s. I run 3 Experidia. He is essentially one of your main kill shots. I run it at 3 because 4 was too clunky. 3 seems just right because if I see this early, it's my immediate discard fodder for my ride line, because I can recur it later on with the Blaze Pool Monk. And then most of the time, you're drawing into it since you draw so much with the Arcs. And swinging 23 to restand for like 60-something is amazing.
Okay.
And then finally, the boss that makes it all happen is the Mahar Nirvana. And
all those SPs, man.
He is literally in here just so that you can pop off with your burning the damage, the free 10k that they should have gotten with the grade 3, but they decided to make it a counterblast. But yes, it's just amazing because with this card now, the deck just pops off when it needs to. And the triple drive is very amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alright, and that's the deck profile, and that's the deck I topped with.
Oh, I bet. Was there anything you wanted to mention about the Clash of Nations event? Any hard matchups or anything?
Only matchups that were hard for me that I struggled with in all actuality were decks from the Brandgate Nation. It's just a tough matchup in regards that those tend to be a lot of control heavy. So it does hurt you a bit, but once you learn to play against them, you can work around the niche little moments where you can try to do something to hinder them. But at the end of the day, it was just poor matchups for me on the 3 losses I had, only to Brandgate. Aside from there, Magnolia, if you rush it, should have nothing to fear with it.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And same goes with Flag. With Flag, playing against James so much has taught me that sometimes passiveness is the right way to go.
Rude.
Damage deny is the best way to win.
This guy.
But yes, other than that, Clash of Nations was an amazing event, and I had most fun I've had in a while playing Vanguard.
That's great to hear, man. Well, thank you so much for doing the deck profile, and congratulations for being on Team HAAM now.
Thank you.
Again, guys, this was a Mahar deck piloted by Ronald. Played 66 people at this event and made top 8. I think his final placing was 6, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So congratulations, Ronald, again. And if
Next time we're going for the invitation, boys.
do it for the Nirvana team. Do it
Yes,
for the Nirvana boys.
of course.
All right, guys, y'all take care.